Hi guys, welcome to Alté Ldn Podcast. This is us back again. It's Afia and we also have
Charlene. I don't know. That was very high pitched today.
that was a very modest one. It sounded so modest.
Charlene.
But guys, I just want to say, like, you have to actually understand the literal like sweat that goes into making this podcast, because we're sitting in our houses and it's fucking 30 degrees,
so hot,
and we are sweating. We have to like turn off the fans or like make sure that they're at a minimum.
for real.
So yeah, please appreciate it.
We go through a lot, but we enjoy it. So yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So yeah, today we're actually going to be talking about the movies and like TV shows, so like cult classic movies and like sort of different sort of TV shows that aren't usually the norm, and how they sort of shaped our lives.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, we're gonna go back in time and like talk about the movies that sort of shaped our childhood.
Back into the 90s.
Yeah, back into the 90s, the good old times. So yeah, like what were some of the movies that shaped your life? I feel like we have a lot of the similar ones.
Yeah,
but
so there's going to be some that are quite
like?
similar, and then some that I'm just going to say, and I don't really want you to at me or react or anything. Just want you to let me be. But basically, so the first movie actually I remember like getting on video, which is one of my favourite movies of all time, is Batman Forever. So that was the one that had like Nicole Kidman. And honestly, and like Two-Face, the character, was like, that was when he was first introduced, and honestly, like the sickest film ever. I remember my dad got me Batman, really and then cool. my dad got my sister Power Rangers, even though she wasn't really into it, but I stole the Power Rangers. And by the way, that's another one as well. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, my favorite, one of my favorite movies of all time. And yeah, like, it was really okay. So I'll start. I've kind of like that fantasy, kind of like sci-fi kind of world, so that's definitely going to be a theme for me like throughout this episode, but as well as other things. But definitely like find it hard because like obviously typically those are like, you know, like quote unquote tomboy or boy kind of movies, and like I just thought they were so sick. Like I literally was like, nah, I'm gonna be the turquoise ranger because fuck all those other colours. I want my own colour. Like I really was doing like morphin time. It was morphin time. And I really like used to enjoy myself. But yeah, on a kind of sadder note, there was just no one that I could really talk to about it. Like no one was really trying to hear me talk about Power Rangers and Batman. And
that's so surprising. I loved Power Rangers when I was growing up, and I feel I can't believe no one likes it around where you were. That is really sad. But yeah, no, I love Power Rangers, and like I swear, like it came out like a lot of them are actually black, which is like really cool to find out because you just wouldn't think that they would.
Yeah,
be.
Yeah,
but,
they always
a lot of the Power Rangers are like apparently like
multicultural.
But yeah. Do you remember like CITV though? Because they used to put it on there like all the time. Was it on CITV or was it BBC?
No, it was on CITV, but I was on that. I was living that Sky lifestyle. So listen,
gourmet living.
So we were busting it on Fox Kids. Oh my gosh, Fox Kids back in the day. My favorite channel. So yeah, like definitely Power Rangers, and actually on the Fox Kids hype, I was gonna say, fucking Digimon and Pokemon. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, of course, classic. Oh wait, Digimon or Pokemon though? That's the question.
Okay, so if I want to be honest with you, I really think the Digimon theme tune is like way better than Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie. Digimon, digital monsters, digital gala champions. Digital champions.
What's the one for Pokemon again?
Dramatics.
Oh yeah, Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
That's why you like
that.
it.
No, that was sick.
That's why.
Yeah, true.
If you guys don't know,
but also,
Dramatics,
yeah. If you don't what?
If you guys don't know already, Dramatics, Afia. Same.
Yeah, I love the Dramatics.
What were you gonna say?
I'm coming. I was gonna say like to throw a span in, even though it's kind of different, but then maybe it's kind of similar. But Dragon Ball Z, they had a sick theme tune. Dragon, catch the Dragon Ball Z. No, that was sick. But yeah, out of the two,
thought you were gonna carry on, man.
Pokemon,
do it one time. 1, 2, 3,
I don't know the rest. That's it. Dragon, catch Dragon Ball Z. That's all I know. And then it had like that guitar bit. It was like no, it was sick. But like no, out of the two, like Pokemon and Digimon, I would definitely pick Pokemon. I feel like Ash, like I feel like I could relate to him
I think
somehow.
obviously Pokemon was just like way more popular. obviously.
It was, but it had the games. It had
Yeah,
do you remember Pokemon Yellow? That's
no. I had blue
Sick.
and I had silver.
Oh.
Yeah, but
on like the Game Boy.
My Game Boy Color was my best friend, and that's what I'm saying.
Which color? Wait, which color did you have?
Obviously.
Which color did you have? So did I.
Obviously.
I actually had a purple one.
No, but the thing is, this is what I'm saying to you. So although like Pokemon's probably not like, or these shows are not alternative to everyone, it's alternative to us. Well, for me anyway, because like I didn't have any friends growing up that were into the same things that I was in. Like all the boys like in my primary school, whatever, were like they weren't even really into it. To be honest, like I was kind of on my ones with that, and I was just like, okay, shit. Like, am I just mad different, or like was I just not built the same way? For real. Like when I was like going and talking about, oh my god, like did you see like Mewtwo just came out? They're like, what?
I was like, what are you talking about? Oh no. Oh, that's sad though.
It's alright.
But I'm hoping that you found people eventually. But I feel like it was like definitely such like a boy thing. I remember like I tried to like get into like both the scenes because I had a friend and she was a girl and she liked to play football, and I was like, oh, like because all the girls at school, they wanted to play with Barbies and I just didn't want to do that. And I was like, oh, I want to do something like more different, and so like I tried to do the football thing and it just did not work out for me. And so Pokemon for me and then like so Pokemon for me was like that next step, and like I had Pokemon cards, and so like the boys used to be like, right, let's trade. Remember like the shinies, like I think I had like 2 or 3 shinies, and I thought I was so sick.
Pokemon cards
so
were
like
life.
I remember doing that. Pokemon cards were sick. And then I used to like do the battling, like obviously it was all in your head, like so you'd throw it down, I'm like, yeah, but my one's got this power, and they're like, yeah, but my one's got I
mean, to be honest, that fits you quite well, because I feel like a lot goes on in that mind of yours, so I actually feel like I can see you being quite a good Pokemon card trader.
Oh yeah, definitely was.
You had the but
like other films that I used to watch when I was younger, like that are quite not that weird, but maybe different. But like, do you remember The Mask? I just for some reason, like as soon as when you said like the films that you liked, I just remembered The Mask.
Yes.
Yeah, that Batman Forever reminded me of that. Yeah, with Jim Carrey, and that was so weird. So that was like one of the things I used to like when I was growing up. And like Jumanji, which was like I feel like it was so scary, but like I
found The Mask quite scary, to be honest with you.
The Mask was scary. It was his smile,
creepy.
Jim Carrey was terrifying when you're younger, because his smile was so wide. But like that was a film that I remember.
Oh my gosh, another creepy one actually as well. Labyrinth. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I never watched it because I was so scared.
Shook. Till this day, like rest in peace, David Bowie, but fam, he was creepy as fuck in that film.
Yeah.
But
But wait, actually, I think we should go into the night. So like more into the 90s now. So when we were older, because like when these films came out, I think they came out maybe when we were like super young. But then I started to watch them when I was like maybe like 6, 7 or 8. So like I'm talking about films like the classics that are like Clueless, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, that kind of like
all
high
those
school
sorts of
drama
films.
type things. Absolutely obsessed.
I remember seeing Clueless the first time. I think I saw Clueless before 10 Things I Hate About You, and I was like so amazed by like that Beverly Hills lifestyle and like the fashion. It's just like it's just all a dream.
No, honestly, and like actually a dream.
It is a dream, and I think that's what's like, because if you know me and Charlene, you probably know how obsessed we are with like California and going to LA specifically, but going to LA specifically, it's obviously like Clueless is set in Beverly Hills. So like seeing that film, I was just like, what is this life? And also like her having like a black best friend, like she had her braids in. I was like, no, she's
representation.
Like, she came with the big so even though Stacey Dash is a little bit wayward right now, but
right now she's wild, absolutely wild.
she's been wild. But like seeing like a black girl with her braids and like just all the good fashions, I was just like, I was just taken aback.
Honestly, Clueless is my favorite film of all time. Like so. Hate if you like, but honestly, like I can probably word for word like narrate the film from start to finish. Like I've watched it so many times. When it came on Netflix, it was like one of the best days of my life.
I know. I was like, you're joking. Wait, what's your favorite quotes? Tell me some of your favorite quotes from Clueless.
When Dion's having an argument with Murray, and she's just like, with polyester hair. I don't wear polyester.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's one of my favorite.
Murray, I do not wear polyester hair. Yeah, I love that.
Also, one of my favourite moments I'll say as well is when they're at the party in the valley and they're doing the rolling with my homies.
Yes. Brittany Murphy.
Rest in peace, man.
Brittany Murphy.
Rest in peace.
I literally love Brittany Murphy. She's so fucking talented. But yeah, no, I love that scene as well. Rolling with the homies. And also when she got robbed and she's like, this is an liar. And she had to like, it's so sad. I felt that one. I was
totally
like,
important in designer.
yeah, and he's like, I love that. And also I love the freeway scene. That's probably one of my favourite.
And they reenacted that in the Iggy video.
We're on the frame. So good. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Shouts out to Tajana.
But no, I love that.
Yeah, no, for real. But actually as well, so yeah, those kind of teen movies for sure, like 10 Things I Hate About You, again, just like a coming of age kind of like
in love
movie, like also just like so fucking cool. And it was really dope to see someone who like really alternative. I like the fact that they also incorporated like hip hop and like black culture in it as well, you know, indirectly. Like, you know, everyone knows the Notorious B.I.G. section where she's dancing to Hypnotize.
She's dancing on the table.
Amazing movie. And yeah,
it's interesting what you said actually about her character, because like that's something I only think about now. Like when you're young and you watch a character like Kat, who's like such a feminist, such like a strong like woman, because you usually see like the protagonist is usually like some girly like blonde, like, oh, I don't have any idea about life or what I want, and then I've met this boy and he's made me figure out everything. Which like Kat's like, no, I'm going to this university, I know like what I want to do in my life, like whoever comes in my life has to sort of fit in with what I've already got going in, and that's sick. And like, you know, you didn't see that sort of thing at that time.
But I thought that was so like, character building for us though as well. Like I feel like that really helped me when I was younger, and I'm sure that'd be the same for you. Character building is Afia's favourite term, by the way, so I thought I'd just incorporate that every episode. But like, no, because that's really how I felt. Like I was just like, you know, I don't really want to conform to, like, it's so difficult being like an African child, and I'm sure you might you know relate being a Caribbean child, but it's just like I didn't really want to conform to like what was expected of me. Like I really wanted to do my own thing, and although it was quite hard for me to do that, and I sort of end up doing that in a roundabout way, I feel like that was like really important, and that's because I was like quote unquote alternative, and my parents, you know, just expected me to do this, you know, normal sort of go to uni, do like a degree in engineering, become an engineer, live my life, and like that's just not the career path I'm taking. It's kind of definitely very like wibbly wobbly and like it's not so straight, so yeah, I think that it's so important, like, and that's the thing that and also an ethos and a mentality that I feel like everyone should, you know, try to embody, you know, all young women and young men too, like, you know, try to embody just when navigating through their lives. Like it's difficult out here, but I think once you're able to sort of like center yourself and work out what you want to do and be sure in that and be confident that you can do it, then I think it's so important that you try your best to, like, you know take a stand and just, you know, be your own person.
Definitely. And to touch, just to like expand on that as well, like just to also be confident in knowing what you want from life, and like not having anyone come in and tell you, no, actually that's not the way it should be. Like if whatever you want from life is like what you should always try and go and get. And I think that's what Kat did, and like seeing her do things that were different, because obviously her sister was like what her dad basically wanted Kat to be. So like if you haven't seen the movie, so her sister was like, you know, like proper, like put together, like pretty, didn't really have much going on in her head. She was just enjoying being like a rich kid basically, and just like followed the rules basically. And there you have like Kat, who's more like tomboy. She liked to play guitar, she played like football, like she was just completely different. So like I feel like seeing things like that when you're young lets you know that you can do whatever you want, and like it's okay to be different from what people do expect of you. And so, that for me was like one of the first films where I saw that, and I started to feel more confident in myself as well. Like it was definitely hard, like sob story. And also Heath Ledger, like
rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. All these people, like so many people have like passed from these movies. Brittany Murphy, Heath Ledger, but yeah, Heath Ledger was amazing in that film.
But going on to other films that we loved when we were younger, fam, Lord of the Rings,
classic,
absolute classic.
And this is a controversial one, because I feel like every time, I think you're the only person I've met who's not like this. Every time I meet someone who doesn't like the Lord of the Rings, they are a big Harry Potter fan, and then there's also people who don't like Harry Potter and they're big Lord of the Rings fans. I would say, guys, that Charlene's the only person who actually equally likes both, and that is unique for me. I don't like Harry Potter. but Charlene does. But yeah, Lord of the Rings, though, like
amazing,
classic.
So I mean,
film.
let's just unpick a bit. So I think for me, the ring was like symbolic, right? So, you know, it wasn't so much about the ring, it's about so much more. Like people, so I find that people that are not educated and like, oh yeah, I don't like it, like it's like they don't understand that it's not just about getting the ring or destroying the ring. Actually, is what is the purpose
right,
of it. It's exactly, it's so much. It's like family, there's ambition, there's friendship, there's camaraderie, there's development, you know, like personal development. It's just so much to unpack. I think that honestly one of the best films ever. I mean, considering like all the effects that they were able to do back in the day, like they were filming that in 19
because this was like 2003, right? No, they were filming it
at the end of the 90s, so it's like
they were
the fact that they were able to
incredible scenes, like New Zealand, so beautiful, like amazing.
They were able to include like those kind of effects and CGI and that type of stuff, you know, when it wasn't really developed yet. It's absolutely amazing, and it just looks so realistic. Like for me, it's one of the realest films. Like it just looks so real.
Definitely.
But
speaking of lessons though, like because you mentioned it a little bit, I would say like what it taught me at the time when I was younger is just is about friendship. And like seeing the friendship, there was 2 different sets of friendships that we saw along the way. I mean, there's more than that, but like the 2 key ones I would say would be like Merry and Pippin, and obviously Frodo and Samwise. So like you saw them because they obviously had to separate, and then like throughout the rest of the films they were just doing their own thing. But I think that the film definitely symbolizes friendship a lot, and I feel like if you look at the ring as like money, I think that's maybe a way that we could describe it. So everyone's trying to chase after this thing, and like you can either go down the route where like, look, if we're both gonna get it, if we're both gonna be successful, I'm gonna bring you with me, and that's kind of what Sam and Frodo were doing. They were doing it together. And then you had people who were like trying to be sneaky and like act like, oh yeah, we're all in this together, but actually no, I'm only out for myself. So those are people who like died along the way. I can't remember their name, but it was Aragorn's brother or something? Like
there was a few people,
and he switched. So you get people like that when you're chasing the dream. There's always those people who want to like slide in, like, oh yeah, I'm like on your side, but actually not really. I'm trying to just do better for myself.
So symbolic of today, and you can relate it to same situations.
You can. Exactly, so you can look at it like that. But the friendships, like they supported each other. Like when one was weak, the other one would carry them along. Like they always had each other's back no matter what. And like being young and seeing that, like it definitely taught me to put effort into your friendships and to value those who are like always riding for you, like for sure. So,
no, 100% agree.
Lord of the Rings is a great one,
definitely a great one. And I was gonna say, if you had any like particular favorite scenes, do you have any? I want to say mine first. One of my favorite scenes is when Gandalf reveals himself as Gandalf the White. I'm not gonna lie to you, that scene just does so much for me. Like it was just brilliant. Like
because it was devastating, because you thought he died and you were like, no.
Like when Gandalf, first of all, he should have been a White Wizard from time ago, but when he becomes Gandalf the White, absolutely fucking amazing.
Beautiful scenes.
My gosh, he's in the forest and he's just like, ooh. And he just reveals his cloak. Oh my gosh.
It's so good. I would say one of mine is her name Aragorn, so the one that Liv Tyler plays, and she's obviously taken Frodo back to the elves and he's all fucked up, and she does that long, I don't even know what she's speaking in Elvish. She's like and then like all the white horses come and they do like bits with the what are they called? I can't even remember the names, but the people in the cloaks, lot, they were trying to chase after them, and then she brought like the white horses and they turned from the water, and it was just a beautiful scene. And like you said, like to have done that in like 2003,
I know, it's crazy.
Insane. And also I love the comedy duo between Legolas and Gimli, like because obviously he would always take the piss out of his height. He's like, do you want a box? Like, do you want to jump in the box to see over? Like their banter was just so funny. So like, scenes with them, to be honest with you, just great stuff. I 100% agree. To everything that happened in the Elvish land was just like amazing. Like ridiculous, it just looked so angelic. So angelic, and so the scenery was so beautiful, and that to me honestly is a representation, like as a sort of spiritual and religious person, like of what like the afterlife is going to look like, you know, obviously if you carry yourself to you know, out to be a good positive human being or whatever. So I feel like it's just, there was so much to unpack with that film, but great film. But again, for me, like no one that I knew was into it, like literally no one. I think Same. I think it was like me and like maybe this one of my guy friends. Like we were the only people, but like like I was saying, like the girls were just not into that sort of thing. They were just wanting to do different things. And I was like, what do you? No, actually, that was it. People liked fucking Harry Potter. That was why. So everyone was like, no, Harry Potter, and I was like, no, The Lord of the Rings. And I was like trying to fakely like get into Harry Potter. I was like, oh, it's okay, but like I just was not. But yeah, no, people were not into.
As you said.
But you like Harry Potter.
Yeah. What I was gonna say though is that with the Lord of the Rings, I actually had to go see specifically the Two Towers. I had to go see it with my dad because like no one wanted to go to cinema with me, and my dad like passed out after like 10 minutes. But he got a good like 3-hour nap.
He slept good.
And also, yeah, The Lord of the Rings actually got me through my university dissertation. Like, literally, I had all 3 movies playing back to back in the background as I was typing. Like, it was honestly like the best
Actually,
thing.
do you know what? Saying that, another thing that people say is like it's too long, and I don't think
not
it's
even
too
long
long.
enough.
It needs to be.
It's
Do you know what I
actually
mean?
not long enough.
Exactly.
Have you read them books?
It's not long enough.
Fam.
Yeah. I've started to read one, and I was like, do you know what?
It's too boring. I'm sorry, Tolkien, rest in peace in that, but it's not him. It's not him.
The film.
But yeah, no.
But like it needs to be that long. The details and to like build up the story and the character development. Like it needs to be that long.
100%.
So,
if you had to pick your favourite film out of the 3, can you pick it?
Maybe Two Towers. I don't know.
I feel like you just sound like
maybe two.
I feel like I'm defending with yourself.
No, I feel like I'm betraying them.
Why Two Towers? What made you think that initially?
I feel like the character development, the comedy was there. We also had some like strong like female leads who come in. I literally don't remember her name, but do you remember that blonde woman? What's her name?
Oh no, I do.
But she was like
the one that was the daughter of the.
Yeah,
the king.
Yeah. And she was like, I want to fight too, and they had to dress her up in like the guy's armor. That was sick to see as well. Like, oh, like a woman's getting involved. Like that's sick. Two Towers. But then, but the third one as well, because when they all came and they had those massive like elephants and stuff, when they're all trying to come and like fuck up all the what are those things called, the orcs and all that shit. That was just great scenes. I don't know. I think I'm between. It was just so good. I don't know. Maybe Two Towers. We'll say Two Towers, but I don't know.
Actually can't choose, so I'm not going to. So let's.
What? I didn't know that was an option. I said the same. Wait, but The Hobbit though, because The Hobbit was good. The first one
Hobbit was good, but not anywhere near as good as the actual Lord of the Rings. But I did enjoy The Hobbit. I did enjoy. Like for me, I just wanted to see more from that world. So I'm always happy to see more films like that. And I guess that brings us quite nicely onto Harry Potter. So you weren't into it, which I find so interesting. Like what about it don't you like? Like what?
I thought the first one was like okay, and I was like it's really exciting because it was like real life. So like obviously he was just living his normal life in London with his auntie and uncles or whatever the fuck it is, and then you saw scenes in London, so that was really cool. But I don't know, I feel like after watching the Lord of the Rings and seeing like how like much more like gory and like scary and creepy it was, then to watch Harry Potter, I was like, this feels like a poor man's version. And I feel like like are they called the Dementors? I feel like that was a rip-off of like how the ones in the Lord of the Rings looked, and I was like, this is just not as good. Like it's cool, but it's just not as good.
I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, first of all, I can't tell you the feeling I have in my stomach when I watch, mainly from book number 5 or film number 5, so Order of the Phoenix, and so the last 4 films are just absolutely excellent. Like, so I mean, I can just tell you a few things. So like, I think I love like all of the scenes in Hogsmeade, like, which is like the village, like the magical village that's sort of near Hogwarts. Also Diagon Alley, which is like the pathway from the mortal world to the magic world. And then also all of the scenes in the Ministry for Magic, like they're just so sick. But the whole relationship between like Voldemort and Harry Potter for me was just like something really, really interesting to unpick. Like why specifically that boy, like, you know, why did Voldemort specifically go to his house that day back in the day to kill his parents and to kill the whole family, and then obviously to find out that, you know, there was a prophecy that he found out about a time ago, which is sort of what led him there. It's just like it really came like full circle. But yeah, Harry Potter is fucking amazing. I've got all of them on DVD. I've got all of them, so Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, I've got them all on DVD, and I'll probably watch them equally as much as each other. But yeah, as I said earlier, I'm kind of into that sci-fi action kind of genre. So like these films are just amazing to me. But again, I had to sort of like love them by myself. I mean, my sister's really into Harry Potter, but yeah, I didn't know. Like, again, it was a weird one. Like, I just didn't really know many people when I was growing up. Maybe I grew up in a weird place. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. But like, yeah, so along with that as well, there was like the other side. So if we go back into like teen movies, one that we haven't mentioned as well is Cruel Intentions, which I feel like is like such a cult classic. You've got like Sarah Michelle Gellar. So obviously at the time she was doing Buffy. So to see her in a movie, I was like, oh my god, she's in a film as well. Like, I was just so excited. And that's another TV show as well that was great. Buffy Vampire Slayer. Classic, fucking classic. But yeah, Cruel Intentions. So it had Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Ryan Philippe,
Reese Witherspoon, Ryan Philippe, who obviously was married to Reese. I think is that how they met, or they were together before, and I think she literally just had their kid, who literally is a twin of her.
Yeah, I know. Right?
At the time, yeah, she literally looks the same. But yeah, a great film, and like it was just a film about like manipulation. It was like love. It was like just drama, so like, all the shit. Wasn't it? Is it based on a novel, a Shakespeare novel?
I don't know that actually. I'm not sure. That's 10 Things I Hate About You is based on Taming of the Shrew. So Cruel Intentions, I didn't think it was, but it could be.
I feel like it could be based on something because of just the dramas that go on. But yeah, that was just a great film. Like, I don't know if it taught me like any learning lessons. Well, mate, I don't know, but it was just like an entertaining thing to watch. Like Catherine, who Sarah Michelle Gellar played, her character was so interesting because she was like, I've never seen someone who's like so manipulative,
but so destructive as well to herself.
I know, but she gave no fucks. She literally did not give a fuck until she was caught at the end with her cocaine in her cross, in her cross. And all that shit, she literally did not.
But she was such a weird character, innit? Like, she was so like, I've just not. I think for me, it was really interesting to see a film with that kind of character as the main like protagonist. Yeah. Because like I just never seen it before. Like, she was just so destructive, so manipulative, evil. Like, always had like a plan A, B, and C and D. Kind of really outsmarted everyone. But yet then it's like, right, it just shows you that kind of life like is always gonna catch up with you at some point.
Yeah. And also like with Sebastian, all it took was for the girl, what was her name in the film, Reese Witherspoon's character? I literally can't even remember. Yeah, so Reese Witherspoon's character, so Sebastian was Ryan Philippe's name. But yeah, all it took was for Reese to come along and like show him like, oh, there's actually a different way, because like Sebastian was quite like Catherine. They love to play games with each other. They love to just piss each other off and like get one up on the other. But yeah, all it took was for like her to come through, and then Annette. He saw a different way of life. Annette, yes. And like Catherine didn't really like that, so she was just trying to like fuck up the life. Oh yeah, and Selma Blair was in it as well. I forgot that. Yeah. Selma Blair was also in it.
Innocent. She was an innocent bystander.
Yeah, she was.
She was a casualty of war. To be honest with you.
And so was the guy from Save the Last Dance.
Oh yeah, Sean Patrick Thomas. That's it.
Yeah.
Casualty of war, man. Yeah. But did you watch any of the spin-offs out of interest?
Yeah, he was.
And there's been two.
I watched some of the second one and it was absolutely disgusting. So I was like, what is that? No, is it the one where she's like in college? Because I started watching, so like they go to like a college. It was like number 3. So like he moves into the campus and he meets a girl who's meant to be like the new Catherine, basically. And she was all like mysterious. Is that the one?
Sorry, so
I don't know if it's 2
I think
or 3,
so. Number 2 is the one that's got Robin Dunn and Amy Adams. So that's a private school. So I think you're talking about number 3, which is when they go to like a campus and it's got the guy from Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And I was like,
that one's a bit of a madness. Number 2 is actually not bad, you know. Number 2 is actually not bad.
I've not seen number 2 then. Okay,
it's not bad. Yeah, check it out. It's not bad. I mean, obviously not too dissimilar of a story, but it's not bad. So that one's based on the headmaster and mistress's daughter. She, you know, it's supposed to be all innocent, but turns out she's the one actually like is the lead of this like secret like society that do like bad shit, basically. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Another film to come out that time, which is actually a creepy one. I don't know if many people actually, I feel like some people did like it, but not many people that I knew anyway. Do you remember The Craft?
I liked The Craft. So about the 4 girls at school that started doing witchcraft things. Yeah, no, I liked it. I mean, that's a cult classic though.
The Craft. Definitely classic. Definitely classic.
For sure.
That was another film I liked, and that was another thing of like strong women, even though it went left, obviously.
Yeah,
but like it was just strong women like getting their shit. Because obviously they got their back on everyone who fucked them over, basically, and then yeah. So watch The Craft if you haven't seen it. That's another one I'd recommend.
Definitely. I think like a lot of these, as you can see, like have a running theme of just being like kind of weird and alternative. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say that, you know, Fia and I definitely just were into some like different shit when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Which is cool though, and we want to just let you guys know that it's cool, so you don't have to think it's weird either. But
yeah, exactly. There's another one I actually want to mention that I feel like not many people have seen, but like I know you've seen it definitely. The film called 13.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like such an important film, especially for like being that age.
Isn't it? It's
it was
autobiography.
Yeah, of Nikki Reed. Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen it, so Nikki Reed was only 18 when she actually co-wrote and directed it. Oh, I think that's what she did. And it's like an autobiography of her life when she was growing up, when she was 13. So she was into like drugs, having like underage sex and like drinking, stealing, like all this sort of stuff. Like it was just like all like just a mess, like just fucking up your life in the worst ways that you could when you're only 13 years old. So, and it had like Rachel Wood in it. She was the main character. And yeah, Nikki Reed was like her friend, like sidekick, and like got her corrupted and all that stuff. And seeing that at such a young age, I think it did influence me to not fuck up my life. So I was like, I don't want to be like hooked on drugs and alcohol.
It's really 13. Crazy.
I'm not gonna do this. It is. It's insane.
But I mean, it's because obviously she had a really, you know, fucked up childhood. Like her parental. She didn't really have like a parental figure in her life. Like, and that shit can really affect you when you're younger. Like, I mean, understandably and obviously, and not to add that, you know, it's obviously set in LA and there's so much shit that can go down. So much shit that can go down,
because they were both from like so in the film both of them were from like quite broken homes. So Evan's character didn't really have like her dad was there, but he just was not interested. So he'd come and be like, oh yeah, like I'm actually gonna go out with my other family, like not you. And she's like, right, okay. So she didn't really have like anything. But yeah, that was a big film for me. I really enjoyed it, as depressing as it was. It's a hard watch, but definitely one I would recommend for sure.
No, definitely. So I think let's move on to just some other of our like cult classic favorites. So definitely loved Xena. Again, I was on my own with that one.
Oh my god,
Xena Warrior Princess.
No, that was
like
so good.
I was obsessed. Like I was obsessed with
Xena
her.
Was so
I was obsessed
good.
with, and then they did like this. I'm sure there's one episode where they did like a crossover with like I think a Hercules, and like that was just like it was just
I remember him as well. Oh my
like,
god,
actually I just love Xena with like
sick.
her cool fucking outfit with the kilt and shit, and her sort like
she was sick
so fucking sick. So yeah.
Wait, did you ever watch the show and it had these, and I never knew what it was, but it was like, I think they were from like indigenous tribes or something, and it was set in like Australia, and it was like all kids. And I never knew what the name was, and I feel like I was like, was it the tribe?
The tribe where they they lived in like a shopping centre or something, or I loved that show.
So.
Like,
did you watch? Okay, good, because I thought, you know those shows you watch and you're like, did I imagine that?
No, I loved that show.
Every time I mention it, people are like, what are you talking about?
No, I love that show. Yeah, so it was called The Tribe,
and
it was like like lots of different indigenous people, and like I guess it was somewhat of like an alternate world, if you like. And they were like living in like converted like shopping centres and that type of shit. It used to come on Channel 5. Like I loved that show.
Oh, okay, I'm so glad that you said that, because I thought I made
no.
it.
It was
it was sick.
You're making me want to go and try and watch it online, actually. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Such a good TV show. But yeah, Xena, I just loved her, and again, didn't know anyone else that was into her either. And then also I really, really loved, like, controversially, I guess, not controversially, but Beverly Hills 90210. Like, that was
the original one. I never watched the original. I think I maybe saw like 2 episodes. No, I only watched the reboot.
That shit was controversial. Like, I mean, it was, you know,
I can imagine the drama.
Exactly, like, it was all over the tabloids. Like, you know, they became like instant stars. Like, you know, the main characters are all really famous now, you know. And Jason Priestley and Christian Slater, and so
he's the guy who's just died now.
Jason Priestley, I'm pretty sure.
The name?
No, it wasn't Jason Priestley, actually. It was who passed away?
I can't remember his name,
which is really sad. But yeah, and it's just an amazing TV show. I feel like I was probably too young to be watching it, to be honest, because they were definitely tackling things like drugs and like quite heavily, mental health as well. I will say there wasn't really representation like as in ethnicity wise, so interesting, wink wink, but I guess they tried to implement some of that in the reboot. They tried. I said tried.
The token,
exactly. But yeah, a great TV show though.
It was a great TV show. And like speaking about the reboot as well, I love the reboot because it was just drama and just ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous
all the time.
It ended ridiculously, I think.
What was the end?
They just left on a plane. And then Liam got Annie back, and that was kind of it.
Liam was literally the love of my life.
Yeah, he was buff still. But actually talking about current shows though, right? So current sort of shows. Like weirdish shows, not weird, but like different shows that we're into. Netflix be coming with the heat, okay? They come with the heat.
Yes. Guys, literally last year, was it like last October, they were bringing out bangers. Every month was like banger. I was like, what? Yeah, it was mad.
It's madness. So right now, okay, a TV show that we just watched is called The Order. Okay, so if you've not watched it,
guys,
it's a whirlwind. So to give like a short synopsis, basically,
I mean, how do you even define it?
So The Order stands for the Order of the Blue Rays, I think it's what they're called, right? Order of the Democratic, something like that. And basically they're a society of like witches and warlocks, like they have powers, and they're like a secret society that do like all this weird shit, and they're based, well, one of their bases is at a university, and so it's basically surrounding this boy who goes there to try and get into the society because he feels like this is like the society kind of killed his mum. So that's kind of the basis of the story in a really, really broad nutshell. But of course, so many other things happen. So it came out initially last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was. No, yeah, it was last year. Last year, sort of towards the beginning of last year, like February, March kind of times. And then season 2's just come out like last week, mate. Headaches.
We've already banged out, guys. We finished it. No, it was twists and turns every minute, because like the first series I could follow it, but in the second series, if you blink, you've missed literally like half the storyline, and you're like, what?
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
It was,
but
yeah, I know, because you're probably gonna pick up so much.
100%. But yeah, it was twist up. It was twist up. But
yeah, and then you find out there's like werewolves. So it's not just limited to witches. Kind of there's werewolves. Like,
well, they're called Praxis. The they are, and then the Primrose Things as well, and it was all mash up in the thing. So definitely one to get your head around. But I thought it was really good.
I think it was
really well done. Yeah, and it's an interesting watch if you're into that kind of thing, like sci-fi. And again, Athea's the only other person I know who watches it. So
yeah, it's just us.
But yeah, if you're into like that kind of witchcraft, wizardry type thing with like a decent storyline, then yeah, definitely would recommend it. But then controversially, then we've got Baby and Elite. So Baby is based in Italy, and again, in a nutshell, that is based on, so it's a real story, and there was this like they had this like illicit kind of escorting service going on in Italy with like underage girls, and so that's what it's based on. So Baby stands for like baby prostitute, so sugar baby, sorry, that's what it stands for. And obviously, they had like sugar daddies basically. But yeah, it's kind of wild. I'm not gonna front though, them international things are actually live. I actually read.
No, look, guys, me and Charlene have a thing for like, I wouldn't say telenovela because that's like more of a Spanish thing, but like we love like international drama, international music. We're all into it. So
yes. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure.
And we love Rosalia. So Rosalia, like, international music, that's our girl.
That is our girl.
But like, yeah, so Baby, we watched Baby last. This all came out last year, wasn't it? So we watched Baby, and then like before that we watched Elite. So Elite's the Spanish we could say telenovela because it's Spanish, but yeah, that's the Spanish version, and it's like basically about a girl. So it starts off with like the murder. So a girl gets killed, and like basically throughout the whole of the first series, we're trying to figure out who's killed her. Like, is it her friend? Is it someone that she was dating? Like, there's all these possibilities, and it looks like it can be a number of so many people. And then at the end, like, it's just twists up, and you're like, what? And it turns out to not be the person that you expected to be. And then like the second and third series is basically that. Wait, is there three series?
Yeah,
or is it two?
Yeah, second, third series.
Yeah. So the second series is like everyone starts to figure out who's actually done it, because the police still don't know.
So we, the audience, know,
the
but they don't know in the TV show.
Yeah, but no one else. Yeah, exactly. And by the third, it kind of comes out, but like there still isn't injustice because the person who's done it is still like denying it. So I'm trying to say this so you guys don't find out who it is if you haven't watched it yet. But yeah, so the third series, everyone's like it's this person, like, but no one's doing anything about it, and they're like, yeah, but no, I didn't do it, even though they know that everyone knows that they did do it. So yeah, it's all this drama. It's just a lot of sex in there. It's a very sexual program. I was like, okay,
and
wow.
as his baby,
I remember you were watching it at work. You were like, Afia, you did not tell me that this needed. I was like, I'm so sorry.
It is. There's a lot of action going down. I mean, I just feel like in general, there's a lot of action in these TV shows. Like they're becoming a lot more explicit. And I'm here for it.
I like it though because it's more realistic.
I'm 100% here for it. Like I'm so here for it.
Do you know what I've just remembered that we loved last year? Euphoria.
Oh my gosh.
Euphoria was sick. Euphoria, what a show. Honestly, that was amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
The acting in that show, the caliber of acting, 10 out of 10. No, 12 out of 10 is beautiful. Like Zendaya was incredible. Jacob Elordi, who plays, I don't know what his character's called again, but just
AKA
I think he's
Bae.
Yeah. Oh, he's so tall.
As in AKA Zendaya's Bae.
Oh yeah, her Bae, innit? Because they're meant to be going out. But yeah, like the acting is ridiculous. So basically, if you haven't seen it, guys, it's based on the character's called Rue. She's just gone through like drug addiction. She's just come out of rehab for like maybe the second time or she's been in a few times, and like so she was addicted to, is it heroin? I'm not sure which drug, but something heavy. She's super young, so she's like
she's in high school,
still in school. Yeah, she's still in school, so she's just come out. It's basically about her finding her feet again and like trying to just not get back into the drugs, and like she meets this friend and like, and the thing about about Euphoria is what's so good is that they feature this trans character, and they don't hide the fact that she's trans, and they show her story as well, which is so beautiful because there's not that much trans representation on television, like really at all, apart from like shows like Pose, if you've seen that, but there isn't that much, and it's beautiful to see it, especially at such a young age, because I know a lot of people are so young when they realize that they are trans. So to see that, like when she was only like in school, going through her transition and all of that. So yeah, it's a great show. There's great diversity, like a lot of different characters from like different backgrounds. Like I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think for that as well, like, and actually probably a great way to sort of conclude that though, it's just that it really opens your eyes a lot. Like it really opens your eyes a lot to so many issues. Sure. Like one thing we're not dealing with is like in the Black community especially, is like mental health, and
100%,
you know,
100%.
in Euphoria we're dealing with that in so many different facets. Rue is clearly going through a number of mental health breakdowns, which is why she's why she's resorted to taking, you know, illegal substances and things like that, as well, but also we see it from a different perspective, which is not even like as necessarily deep as like what Rue's going through, but it's the footballer guy, the black dude, the short dude, he's going to college, and his girlfriend is Rue's like ex best friend or whatever, and like from his perspective, you know, he's dealing with like, you know, doing like what his dad wants and like making sure he's a star player of the team, and like he's going through like some serious like what could be some serious like mental health shit too, like, and it's really like
he's such an interesting
I think he's a great character.
He's a great character because he's so like abused. So like when he's with his dad, he's like this timid guy, and he doesn't really like say that much. And then like aside from that, he's like really abusive because he's got a girlfriend. He's quite like aggressive and abusive with her, and like aggressive to like other people in the school and stuff like that. But no, it's definitely like does open your eyes to a lot, and especially about life after going through rehab as well. I think that's so important because it doesn't just end when you've just come out of rehab. There's just so much that you have to pick up. You've lost friends because they just couldn't deal with your addiction anymore. Maybe you've lost your family, like your family didn't trust you anymore. Like there's just so much that you have to like pick up when you go back into the real world. So yeah, it's definitely eye-opening.
And I think can really scare people out of like doing some crazy shit, to be honest with you. Like for me personally, if I wasn't this age and hadn't gone through all the things that I'd gone through, I think that it definitely would have, it affected me now. So I think it definitely would have affected me if I was watching it at like, 14, 15, 16 years old, and thought to myself like, rah, like I think Zendaya did a fucking amazing job. Obviously proud to have a black woman play that role. Again, like I said, we need that more representation of BAME and or black people specifically, dealing with those kinds of things, being open as well, like her interaction with is it Jules? Her interaction with Jules as a trans person. Like, it's not a secret that in the black community we're not as open to some of these things yet, but it's just all about learning and like educating yourself and like realizing that we're just all human beings. I think that is a beautiful thing to see, like seeing like a black woman being so open and so accepting of her. And I think it just was so much more to unpick, and I think in general, guys, like we can definitely just learn so much, so we recommend that for sure. Okay, guys, if you wonder, we're actually referring to like a little list.
we have a list. We're going through a list. Okay, actually, I'm going to talk about, because we've just spoken about the LGBTQ community. I'm going to speak about Moonlight. I don't know if you've seen Moonlight, but one of the most important things about Moonlight for me is the way in which we see two black men who are gay represented, because you just don't get that. Like Charlene was just saying, in our community specifically, we're not as like open, we're not as progressive when it comes to how we care for our LGBTQ people in our community, because there are black LGBTQI plus people within our community, so we have to make sure we take care of them. 100%
agree. But however, I thought about this, and I'm thinking, and also it's Pride Month, so definitely happy Pride Month to everyone.
Happy Pride.
But I was thinking about this, and I think it's because we're still so far behind. Like, we're just fighting for the fact that we're black, let alone that there's other things, other facets to us. And whilst it's, I wouldn't even say it's accepted in other, racial groups either. Like, white people are still not accepting it. Asian. So I think everyone's still dealing with it. But I think, like, why black people might specifically be like a few years behind, is because we're still so behind in just getting ourselves even recognised as black people. Do you know what I mean? So it's not an excuse, but I just thought that I was just thinking, like, why, like what is it that sort of makes it like that little bit harder?
There's so many things. I think a big thing as well is religion, but that's a whole other thing as well, because obviously, like, if you're from like first gen or whatever, you already know, like, they're religious as hell, like old school Caribbeans, old school Africans, like religious, so like it is to do with that as well. But aside from that though, like with Moonlight, the way in which they have you seen Moonlight?
I haven't, no.
Or have you not seen it? You haven't. But just the way in which they capture these two characters and like the sensitivity of like how they feel about each other, just through simple things, like the camera work in it is amazing, because they focus on like a lot on the eyes and like the mouth and the hands and stuff like that, and that's like very delicate parts of like when you're loving someone, what you do with your eyes and your mouth and your hands. It shows you like how much you love that person, and like just to see like these two black men, because I feel like black men are always have to be seen as like hyper masculine and like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. But it doesn't have to always be that way, and I feel like in this film it shows that there is a sensitive side to black men. There is a loving side to black men that we don't always see, and especially in massive films, especially in Oscar-winning films, because this film won an Oscar, don't forget that. So yeah, that's a nice film. I feel like something that we can end with, and it's just really positive and just nice to see, and it uplifts the black gay community, because they are there and we should never forget them. Black lives matter, black gay lives matter, black trans lives matter. So,
just put it simply, all black lives matter.
All black lives matter. All black lives matter. 100%,
all black lives matter. Hashtag that shit. But yeah, no, like, definitely thank you so much again for listening. This is definitely a bit of a chill one. If you feel like we're chill, it's because we're so hot and we're sweating out our lives. But definitely we enjoyed doing it. So we also want to say thank you so much for the support so far. Like, we definitely been like way more supported than I think we even thought to start with. Like, I think we're at like over 200 listens now, which is like crazy to think about, and we're just like two girls just chatting our shit. So like, we do really appreciate it. Keep tuning in.
We do appreciate
Keep engaging with
thank
us.
You so much.
Thank you, and follow us on Instagram. You'll see it in the link. But at Alté Ldn Podcast, and watch out for things coming.